Okay, welcome to Advanced Science Skills. I am up in your upper right hand corner of your screen there. Hello, everybody. My name is Mr. James Cottingham. A little about me. In fact, I think I will put myself on big screen for a second so you can see me a little better. Hello again. Um, I am beginning my 22nd year in Dobbs Ferry. I am the IB biology teacher, but for most of those years, I've already also taught the ninth grade honors biology that Ms. Bell is currently teaching this year. I also spent 4 years as the eighth grade science teacher before the great and powerful Isaacson was hired here uh, a while back. So my 18th year in the high school. All right, so this is science skills. And what I want to do here is to take this down, present the screen, so that you are able to see what I am presenting. First thing, I'm going to take a quick look through. So this is advanced science skills. So what is the philosophy of the course and what is it? Without you reading the syllabus, which by the way will be attached to your to this video in the email as it is sent out. It is an elective course, super important for you to know and understand. Which means there's no freshman right now required to take this course. They're taking the course because they want to learn more or better ready themselves. And the better ready themselves is really what this course is about. It was designed by the IB teachers a few years back so that your kids would have a somewhat upper hand when entering an IB course, which most of your kids, IB science course, which most of your kids will 2 years from now, hensing the word advanced. All right, so we'll take a look at what we're going to learn in the smartboard in a couple seconds. So I wanted to make sure that you are aware that, and thank you for taking this elective course. All right, and what it does, again, remember we'll go into that. We'll come back here and take a look here. Again, the grading mostly for this course is mostly holistic, meaning attendance and participation. The one big assignment the kids will have, and they haven't been taught it yet, is to prepare a skills notebook. So you might say, well, how are they supposed to remember this for the rest of their time here? They don't, because they're going to have their own textbook created by themselves to bring along with them 2 years from now, which is going to be mapped out everything that they're doing in here, guided along with examples so they can go back and look, oh, standard deviation. When do I use that for? How do I do this? It'll be in this notebook. There is not going to be a midterm, and there will probably not be any long period tests, but when appropriate, there will be quizzes, and I'll speak to you about appropriateness. But the largest portion of the grade is, of course, their presence and participation in the class. As you can see on the bottom, no midterm and no final during final time, but there probably will be a final, what we call in the lab world, a practical, which will test whether what skills they've picked up. And truly speaking, if they've picked up one skill from this and can use it, it's a success. All right, so I'm going to leave most of the rest of this for you to read. Just wanted to point out the participation angle. Again, we're all in the virtual world this year, though your sons and daughters are welcome to come in for reinforcement on Wednesdays during their period, and 2:20 to 3:10. Welcome to come in, or we can do it virtually if they're not comfortable with that. But what is the participation grade? Not only in the virtual world, obviously attending class, cameras on, okay, and then the physical verbal participation as they get more comfortable with me, as they happen. So read up on what you are seeing here. It will be attached. If you have any questions, do get back to me. What I'm going to bring up here now is the smartboard so that you can get a little better understanding of what the course is about. All right, so this is the units that we'll be going over. So right now we're knee deep into nature of science. So we began with a couple of opening, and we're just about finished A. This is a very quick unit on what science is all about, what the idea of a lab report is, the scientific method, so forth and so on, that you can see there in front of you. IB calls that the nature of science. And so we quote that there. So we're really giving them the idea of what the DP program is going to want them to do. So, so Unit 1, they've already done the introduction, all right, to skills, and we're into the inference and observation. Meanwhile, always coming back to the lab report, the lab, what they're going to see. They've seen a couple of lab reports out there. I shared it with them. One that they'll be doing this year because lab writing is required for the regents as well. And then one from an IB student, which that's where, so that's the benchmark where we want to get you to in a couple of years. All right. So, but most of the crux of this year is going to be involved with both their math and technological skills, which are always an IB bugaboo. They'll get into it. They'll use it next year in physics, not IB, but physics, and IB chemistry. You know, chemistry is math, basically. Bio isn't, chemistry is. So you can see we're going to take a look at all of the needed measurements. So they should have had already in their life some work with the metric system, some work with scientific notation and math, but D, E, and F, all new for the college lab, actually the college level lab, which is what beginning junior year, what it is. Now again, remember, there are other courses out there. IB is not for everybody, just want to put it out there. So this is for the possible IB student. Unit 4, okay, so basically you see there how to take that data, which you're going to collect, and process it. How to process it, how to graph it, how to use technology, as you see in D, to collect data, number 4, and to process it on number 5. I'll bring the smartboard down that you can see. So the idea in IB of data processing is, as I say to the kids, doing math to the data. You collect your data, you do some math to it, and then you can see some of the mathematical tests that you do, both lower level and higher level tests that we'll do. All right, and the processing presentation, how do we show it in a graph? How do we graph? Types of graph, doing graph, both paper graphs and especially electronic graphs, because all graphing in IB must be done electronic sources, using the Google Suite or Excel. And I'll be using the Google Suite this year to show, because that's what the school uses. So really, we're going by the parts to an IB lab report: design, data collection, data processing, data presentation, and then conclusion. How to make scientific conclusions from the data you've generated. Lastly, a thread throughout the entire course: how do you cite, science research and technology. Okay, different means to process, with emphasis here on the Google. So technology all the way throughout. Teach them how to use that as well. So basically, that's the skills in science. What equipment do I use in lab? How do I choose the right equipment? How do I read that equipment? What do I do once I have my data? All these skills that need to be done, where they're led in other lower level middle school and lower level high school labs, led on in labs. In IB, basically data collection and processing is here, you do it. Collect your data, even if I collected for them, here it is, you process it. We don't get involved. All right, we're not allowed to actually at IB. All right, so then that concludes this. All right, again, remember, you can pause this, you can listen, you can read a little further there. So again, if we learn one skill, that'll be enough. So let's hope we do. Have a great year. Maybe see if a parent-teacher conferences. We'll see how that goes. Thank you for listening. Have a good night.